YouTube land, what's good? It's your boy B Herd, aka Brian, aka Prince, aka PB, aka Prince Vegeta out the Haiti. And this is a series where I recap these past tournaments over the weekend. My name is B Herd. If you don't know, obviously try to be a future FGC commentator, but it's hard, man. It's hard. Trust your boy. I know the struggle. But today we're going to be talking about the CPT Online Latin America South Region 1 online tournament in the Canada Cup Masters Series of 2018. And let's talk about the online event first. Rolinho with his Nakali and Alex showing off for Alex Nation. I see 150 points. Took first place. Very nice. Thought he played well. Thought he played solid. And 150 points will go a long way. HK Dash with Bison took second place. Zenit with Manat took third. Stunner with Cammy took fourth. And then Dark played a combination of Birdie, Urian, and Alex took fifth. Evil Dawson, I mean, who else is going to play but Dawson, took fifth as well. Perta took seventh with Urian, and Pico took seventh with M Bison as well. Now that's tough. That seventh place in a ranking event, especially the online tournament, you only get 1 point. But I mean, you got 1 point. You know what I'm saying? You play it in an online tournament, there's probably tons and tons of people. There's obviously going to be more. I think there's going to be more people at an online event than there is going to be offline. Yeah, playing online sucks, but you do it in the comfort of your home. So it's like, if I can play in the comfort of my home, don't have to travel or nothing like that. All I gotta do is pay for online. You know, you can still get yourself some points. And then, and noticeable, just out of sight of the top 8, we couldn't get no points, is Diddy Monkov. That was a guy like Dawson player from Calco Cup that I know all of us remember. And he played well, but yeah, the crazy thing is he got 9th. So there's some killers out there in that Latin America, man. And it's going to be interesting to see who gets that crown as we go, because there's 4 regional champs, so it's going to be interesting to see who gets that crown. And just some noticeables as far as the CPT standings. Outside the top 4, off the top of my head, nothing's changed. But Rolinho moves up 24 spots. So I'm telling you, ranking events matter. The online ones matter. And then Dash actually takes to the last eligible spot with his performance of getting 70 points at this ranking event. So ranking events matter, ladies and gentlemen. Although the points are scarce, like if you get top 7, say you go to every ranking event and you get top 7 in every single one, then it might not matter. But I mean, if you're placing well, you know what I'm saying, it can make the world's difference. I mean, that's a Capcom Cup spot and not. So yeah, man, they're very important. Let's talk about Canada Cup in Calgary. Street Fighter 5 was different. I don't know if the Canada Cup Master Series has always done this, or if this is just a new thing, because this is new to me as far as Canada Cup Master Series. I mean, obviously, I've been known about the regular Canada Cup around my birthday, which I think I should go. I mean, obviously, I have to get like a passport and money and all that stuff, but like FGC, that's literally my birthday weekend. I think I should go. I don't know. Let me know if I should go to the Canada Cup. Have you been to Canada Cup before? That's the question for the chat or the comment section. But yeah, they did a Robin Round tournament, which I think is kind of dope. And I think tournaments with gimmicks and things of that nature. Like, so off the top of my head, Combo Breaker, they always support the like NRS scene and the KI guys. Like, that's kind of their thing. That's kind of their gimmick. If you go to Combo Breaker, you're going to see KI and NRS games get the most love. CEO, which Bailey, he makes the ring the entrance, and like it's this theatrical thing, and each top 8 gets like their own interests, and they get to be creative, and like that's their CEO's thing, because it's like all about wrestling and stuff like that, which I think is super sick. I think tournaments with gimmicks will get people to come back to the tournaments through and through, because it's like a certain thing. It's like, oh snap, like this is dope. This is da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have something to bring players there, then more players will come. And I don't know if this is Canada Cup's gimmick, but it's a dope idea. And I think I would definitely try to target it as like my thing, because there's multiple ways you can look at it. I mean, I wouldn't dwell on it since it's not like, I wouldn't do it as far as the CPT thing. I think CPT should be straightforward because obviously there's this big prize and it's like you want to know who the best is, right? But the fact that they did this robin round at this tournament is like, yo, that's kind of cool. And another cool thing that I thought Canada Cup did quite well, Canada Cup Master Series, is they had players on commentary. I know some tournaments like NCR had that for Tekken, but that's probably the biggest thing I lack in my commentary right now is the fact that I'm not a lead player. Like I'm not thinking of why they would do X, Y, and Z. I feel like I could commentate fine. I feel like I could bring the hype fine, but it's the knowledge that goes a long way, and like the why of why people are doing things that they're doing. And I feel like players are always gonna bring that. Like I remember, it was real quick with Justin. There was a scenario where Chris G was playing Guile against Punk's Cammy, and he was down on life, and like basically one more hit would do it. So he was kind of hesitant to throw a bloom because he knew that Punk would just EX drill through it. And Justin made the point of that. I mean, obviously I could probably make that point too, but it was just a hindsight to the other player. He's like, no, he's literally worried about the EX drill because he knows as soon as he throws an EX sonic boom, he's going to react to it with the drill. And lo and behold, Punk does it. I mean, Punk has a reaction to the god anyway, but it's nice to get that player's hindsight and know what the mind of the player is, because it's one thing to hear it from me, someone who sees it, but the actual player who's telling you, who's been in tournaments, who's won tournaments, who's lost tournaments, who's this and that and the third, I think that's always dope and a neat perspective to get. But yeah, anyway, like I said, they did the robin round. Justin Wong had a great day at the office, man. He played it exceptionally well. He took it with 6-1. His Falk looked godlike. Oh, his Falk looked good. Justin's going to be a tough person that's going to... if you can play Folk at that high of a level, because think about it, you can't really zone him with a Guile, especially with that prone shot, and then the fact that 2-button uppercut, like, Justice Wong's Folk look good. Punk, I don't know I think he took second because he had more games won than LPN, and LPN, they both went 5-2. Rick Ortiz, PR Balrog, and K-Brad we both went, all three of them went 3-4. Siren Blast went 2-5. Chris G went 1-6. I love this format. I'm here for it. Small tournaments, why not? Especially if it's like a small tournament and there's not a lot of pro players. I think that's a good experience because, say, if I could play, I don't know, Justin Wong and Chris G at a tournament, but in a top 8 scenario, why not? Like I think that's better for the long run because you get that rub. That's basically what it's about. Is like you get that rub. You never know what a pro level is until you play a pro. Then you know the standard. Then that's how you go about it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I beat everyone in that's why locals are important, because if you beat everyone in your region, now you need to see where you stand at against the other regions, because you'll never know how good someone is until you do that. Because then if you start bodying people, that's why they treat the East Coast and the West Coast with such a high standard. There's so many players out there that when they go somewhere else, they're like, oh well, I played the best already. I played weekly. Like, this should not be that hard. You know, it's just things like that. So any opportunity to play against, to see how everybody does, because who knows? You know what I'm saying? You might be in losers and lose your first game, but you can beat everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. If I went undefeated for a tournament, I would feel some type of way to get to the top 8 and then I'd play everybody. Like, well, dang. I'd be here for it. I would do it. Especially at Canada Cup, I'd do it. I think that'd be dope. Dragon Ball Fighters was there as well. Goichi, surprise. And I think this is the first tournament since the patch, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say. And what patch, honestly. like what patch? Because I mean, Goichi took out Adult Gohan, that it seemed like he never skipped a beat because he had a Rebellion Spear with Bardock. You know what I'm saying? And Cell and Vegeta looked fine. Didn't look like they was nerfed at all when they Goichi played them. Chris G took a second, and then in the last game, I don't know if he was drunk because there was like an after-hour stream where he was playing games and she had to take shots and stuff like that. There's no way I could do that. Street Fighter 5. No. Not in the slightest. But Chris G, I think he pressed pause or something like that, and he's like, here, just take it. So that's what it is. Timo, the Marvel player, took third. Mega Mike X took fourth. Justin Wong and Punk took fifth, respectively. They had a good day at the office. I think Punk won Marvel. And Justin Wong won Tekken 7. Like, what? Like, Justin Wong is just a godlike player at all video games. And that's what I would say you shoot for. It's one thing to be good at Street Fighter 5. That's cool. That's super dope. But I would rather be solid at every game that I play than just godlike at one. That's just me. Same thing with Punk. Punk playing pretty exceptionally well and stuff like that too. Yeah. So what I plan on doing later this week is I want to do like an Injustice season preview, talking about some of the top players, talking about who I think will do well, and then how the brackets, like, it's gonna be like 12 true spots, but then there's like 4 like champions of this bracket, that bracket, this bracket, that bracket. I want to basically break it down to a T. Show some love to Justice, especially with it starting with Combo Breaker. I can't wait for Combo Breaker. I wish I could go, but it's not looking too good. You know what I'm saying? Go back, watch all the videos you can on my channel if you want to support me going to Combo Breaker. But if anything, I want to go to CEO, so support that too. But E-League was dope this week. There was a double elimination night. And because I was like, there's 5 episodes, but then I remember there was 4 people left, but I wasn't sure if there was 5 or there was 6, but obviously there was 5 episodes. So it was a double elimination this week. I thought the way that they did it was exceptionally well. They did a 2v2, and the teams were predetermined. So it was Commander Jesse and Rob TV versus JB and Guilty. And the way that they did it was that you could pick any character on the roster, but as soon as you pick a character, you can't use that character again. So it was an interesting dynamic to see how much depth that these players had. But I thought that it would benefit the likes of Rob TV, because if you know Rob TV, he plays Karen, he plays Guile, he's been messing with a little Cammy, but this was like in February. That's why I found out recently. So I don't think Cammy wasn't as strong, and I don't know if he had been playing at the time. I know he played Karen and Guile. I just mixed them both together. Karen and Guile at that time. And Guilty had been playing Manat and Dawson at that time. But I figured that those two would have the strong benefit, but then there was a lot of counterpicking too as well. And it went down to the last game, last set. And JB and Guilty took it. Then they had to fight each other, obviously, to keep the immunity. JB picked Rob because he was saving Commander Jesse, and I know he was friends, and that was the interesting thing too. I feel like this series goes a different way if Commander Jesse has to play earlier. Not saying that Commander Jesse wouldn't be in the position that he is, because I definitely think he is like the number 2 or number 1 guy in that house. But it was just weird how he kind of coasted until he had to play. Well, let me not spoil it, but yeah, he kind of coasted. And then Rati, my brother was feeling some way. Called out Guilty. They played the match right then and there. Guilty, I felt bad for her because she did end up having to fight like 10 matches total. And that same day, like, that's kind of hard. Sorry, one take to hold brother dude. I don't know why I'm going. She was alright, I guess. But yeah, they played a set. It was 5-2, wasn't in Rob's favor, and then Guilty kind of popped off, which was weird too, because it's like, I'm all for the pop-offness and the swagger, the talking crap, and this and the third, but I'm also all for keeping that same energy. So it was like, that was kind of your energy, but not all the way your energy. Then you waited till you won. I I get both sides, but Rob's, my brother, so like, I gotta take his side. Like, I think he's wrong. That's my man. Like, you gotta take his side. So I get his perspective of like, well, just keep the same energy because it's easy to do that after you win. Like, yeah, you're supposed to do that, but like, if you gonna talk it, but don't, you know what I'm saying? Not talking, then talk after. Like, I don't like that. I get his point. I get his point of view. I do. And yeah, gets took a 5-2, and they messed with goats. That was weird. I felt bad for Dayashi. Yeah, I would definitely not want. I would definitely not want to deal with them goats, especially after a loss like Rob had to. Like, nah, bro. Especially they poop it everywhere. Nah, that's a no for me, dog. Then they had to do a straight up Robin. I think Robin round. Yeah, basically. And whoever went 0-2, obviously, without question or doubt, would have to go into the Elimination Chamber. And Commander's NC actually lost to JB, so JB got the guaranteed that he'll be in the finals challenge. Which is no surprise. I definitely thought, like, pecking order wise, I thought that Commander Jesse, Rob TV, and JB were the top three, and then everything else was kind of like unsure about, like, where everybody else would go. And Rob TV, or Commander Jesse ended up being guilty, and then now it's Commander Jesse and JB at the end. So I'm kind of curious to see how it'll go. I think Rashid obviously beats Dawson at the time that they recorded it. So we'll see. I mean, JB's looked good all year. I think he's won every challenge besides the one where they nerfed him. So I'd be shocked if JB didn't win this thing. And it was weird. They had a promo and like their foreheads would touch us. I was like, I thought they were friends. I don't know why they got so close or whatever. Like, so, but I love the E-League, man. I thought it was pretty good. The only gripe I've ever had was like to see more Street Fighter because that's like what it's really about. But I get you gotta make it more reality TV based and things of that nature and stuff like that. And the times that they put it on, like 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Friday night, is kind of a rough time. I don't know how they do views-wise, but hopefully they do well. And shout out to Flo, because Flo has a series where he interviews the loser, and it's kind of godlike. Like, last week was pretty good. It was a long one, and there was definitely some opinions on both sides, but I definitely recommend to check that out. So be sure to, I think it's twitch.tv/Flo. So go check those out. And last week, like I said, I do apologize. I'm a liar. I'm a big fat phony. Stunfest was not this past weekend. It's this upcoming weekend. And there's 3 events this weekend before Combo Break. And then one of them's a premiere. So that's crazy and huge in itself. Stunfest in France is a premiere event worth 700 points. That's huge. But there's also BAM 10 in Australia worth 150 points, a ranking event. And Toryukin in Canada, 150 points, ranking event. So now, it goes like this. Everybody and their mama probably who can and will go to Combo Breaker. That's like the biggest duh there is, right? But say you have money and you can travel and all that. Money's not an issue. Like, if money's not an issue, do you go to Stunfest? Do you go to BAM? Do you go to Toryuki? Like, where do you go? Like, where would you go if, you know what I'm saying, you had a choice? See, there's multiple ways to think about it like this, right? Because you figure Stunfest, huge, it's in France, it's a premier event. If you win that event, you're at 700 points, right? So if you win that event, you're tied for 3rd, I believe. Yeah, because Knuckle only has 400 points. So you're 3rd place in the Capcom Cup. Huge, phenomenal, crazy. But if you take 7th, you get 100 points. And that's just 50 off of BAM and Toryuki. So it's kind of like, yeah, if I go to Stunfest, you know, obviously the kill is going to be there because everybody wants the 700 points. But if I just get in the top 8, I get 100. And mind you, you don't even have to get in the top 8. I think it's like top 33 gets points. Like, I think, you know what I'm saying? It's a good amount of points at, like, the tail end. So the 1 point you can get for the ranking event, you probably get for placing 33rd or whatever at a premiere. So it goes like this. So it's like, do I go to Stunfest and take my odds? Because, like, I can place lower and still get more points. Or do I go to Bam or Toryukin and win the thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I know, like, if I'm being honest, if I go to any one of these, right, and say I'm intermediate, so I can finish, like, I mean, I said intermediate, but I can finish top 5th, right? Roughly around there. Or whatever. Like, I'm around that 1 to 5. Like, I can finish in the top 8, but I'm, like, inconsistent. Whatever. I might take my chances at a Toryukin in Canada over a France premiere. Because if I could for sure guarantee, say if I go to a ranking event, I could guarantee second or first place. But at a premiere, I get maybe 7th or later on. 70 points and 150 go a long way later. But it also depends on how. I think it's going to be very interesting to see where everybody goes, right? I feel like the competitor, most people are going to go when they go France. You know what I mean? But at the same time, man, before you can roll on at the same time. Somebody has to win this. I'm gonna take some notes and I'm gonna gather all my information and see what we're gonna do. But until next time, peace.